Welcome back to No Cap Movie Recap, where I'm your host Denzel and not Denzel Washington, even though we are reviewing The Equalizer. Now let's recap. Denzel Washington has finally blessed us with the highly anticipated finale, allegedly, of the Equalizer trilogy, where we find Robert McCall, the former government assassin, deciding to defend this small town in Italy. As he becomes acquainted with the locals, becomes immersed into their culture, and he begins to find peace in of himself. He becomes tied to the fact that this local gang, the Camorra, very ruthless gang, has to go. They are inciting all kinds of mischief, exploiting this amazing, inclusive town, and he is deciding to fight for them. Director Anthony Fuqua, also known for his amazing work with The Magnificent Seven, has been pretty tied to Denzel Washington and The Equalizer, and in an interview has said that this will probably be his last one. Do we know that this will also be Denzel Washington's last one? I hope not, because of how great this movie was. I'm telling you, this movie was so good. Oh my gosh. We also know that Dakota Fanning has also shown up. Dakota Fanning is playing Emily Collins, the CIA agent that has become entwined with Robert McCall. She gets a call from Robert out of nowhere after Robert does what he does. And he has obviously picked her in comparison of it just being a random phone call, which I do not want to spoil that because I think it is such a perfect touch at the end. At first I thought, what was she doing in the movie? By the end of it, Tony decided to illustrate the connection between Emily and Robert. I think it was just the perfect way of closing this particular chapter of The Equalizer, meaning chapter 3 of The Equalizer, not the whole trilogy. I really want this to keep going. So my thoughts as I'm watching this movie. The film opens in spectacular fashion, quickly to reestablish first and foremost that Robert is capable of doing what he always does, which is kill and kill very accurately and very precisely. I think Farquhar does a great job in displaying Robert's capability, his vulnerabilities, and also that he is not immortal at all. So I think that was a great opening as to how that they decided to portray that. And as the story goes on, Robert is having to recover from a particular situation that happened early on in the movie. I just want to let you know that's how he gets to the setting in southern Italy. And he begins to get involuntarily immersed into this small town. Let me tell you about this town. I'm a southern boy from a small town. The way that Antony directed this movie and decided to portray that small town, perfect, absolutely perfect. Robert's interaction, it was a small interaction with the elderly lady going up the steps, displayed so much to me as I watched it. It's like, wow, this town cares about its people. This town has its culture. This town welcomes in people that are not initially a part of it, right? And they don't welcome them in with initiation. They just welcome him in with whether or not he is a good person and if he carries good company. I think it's immaculate. So this is a perspective that Robert has never experienced before. He's experienced violence. He's experienced carnage. He's experienced PTSD, turmoil, destruction. But has Robert experienced peace before? And this is what the society around him, that small town in Italy, is giving him. To me, that was so important to Robert to as to why he had to stand up for them. Robert begins to realize that there's some exploitation going on with particularly the owner of the fish market. And once Robert has realized this, that these people are also oppressed, even in the small town that they know and they love, he was not going to allow his peace and the peace of others to be damaged or exploited by people with no good intention. And unfortunately, the mafia, I believe it was the Italian mafia. Let me know if it was the Italian mafia, because I heard mafia in there. I'm not exactly sure. This is what it is. This is my first impression, right? That's the point. Let me know if it was the Italian mafia in the comments section. And so this set of gang members, this organization is actually a family-ran organization, and they are looking for total domination across the region. And that's what ties Emily Collins into the mix with Robert McCall, that this isn't just a localized entity. This is on a more of a countrywide scale, or it could potentially move into a global scale of their outreach and their control. So Robert does what he does, man. He gets up. Robert shows up and shows out. So that's pretty much my recap there about just the movie and the setting and what's going on. The overall theme I got from the film is it focuses on genuine goodness of society. And to me, that's something that we don't really see a lot of, right? I haven't seen a film that didn't have to have all these other extra components to it. And this one is just about good people needing someone to fight for them. Simple as that. Stand up for them, speak for them, and they will eventually begin to push back against that oppression as well. I absolutely love the movie. I think the message is amazing, and I think Rotten Tomatoes got it wrong initially. They put 73%. I saw that the actual viewers had it at 90, I believe 93%. I'm going to give it a 9.1. And I think it was a little bit of a gap of Emily Collins and Robert's relationship. And I thought that was going to mold itself just a little bit of giving it to a resemblance of Man on Fire. But I think that they did that right at the end, but I was looking for that just a little bit more throughout. And so that's why I would give it just a little bit of a 9.1, but it's an amazing movie. If you are trying to find something to do on the weekend, go watch The Equalizer 3. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I'm going to buy it when it comes out. So that is my recap. Make sure that you go look at the other recaps. They're right there. They're right there. They're somewhere. So go check them out also. And then make sure you subscribe and like the video, man. All right. Until next time.